It's the base.
So much.
All right, so let's go point by point. Elon Musk purchases Twitter.
So when I read his purchasing, he said he was doing it to allow free speech and just give everybody the space to speak up to what it is and what it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Those are trying to flex, like, oh, what's Twitter? Oh, what's that? I like it. I'm buying it. So I don't see any changes lately. Porn's still there.
Still there.
And nothing's getting removed. So I don't know what he's going to change. Let's delete the app altogether on the low.
Any other opinions?
I saw this coming. I feel like anytime you have a billionaire that is even remotely interested in something that's popular, there's a chance that it can get bought up. I can always equate this to sports. Everybody's kind of gets surprised when they see like a big tech guy or an older tech guy. Like, wait, now he owns the Buffalo Bills?
Palmer,
when did
Mark Cuban.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. This like big purchases by billionaires in a country that's driven by capitalism shouldn't really be that big of a surprise. But the fact that he shot his shot though and said that, why don't I think somebody tweeted out, or he tweeted out, or somebody tweeted out like, what if Elon Musk buys Twitter? And then boom, it happens. You know, so but no, a billionaire purchasing a social media platform or making a billionaire-esque purchase, that really didn't shock me. Now, what happens next though? I'm interested to see. To your point, like, yo, are ads gonna be run like mid-tweet? Like as soon as you start tweeting something, like a Honda commercial pops up or some shit, that should let you know that, whoa, something's afoot. So what happens next is the bigger story to me. But the fact that a billionaire purchased a social media platform, welcome to America. This is America. Childish Gambino's playing in the background.
So he didn't purchase it by himself, right? Like he put a bunch of money together. Am I wrong about that, Edwin?
Well, basically what he did, I think, and maybe I have to look into this a little bit more, he did sell some Tesla stock to generate money, but primarily what he did is that what a lot of people do, and a lot of companies aren't actually allowed to do this, major shareholders of companies, but he went to, he went to banks for the money, for the purchase, and he's using his stake in Tesla or a percentage of his stake in Tesla as collateral.
I just wish he would focus on those other two companies. Leave Twitter alone. Twitter's still a fucking thing.
He owns 5 companies now. He has Tesla, Solar City, SpaceX, the Boring Company, and Twitter. So
I get a little annoyed with like billionaires buying like major sources of like news media, like where everybody gets it from. I mean, mind you, the ones who created it have that, but Elon Musk just annoys the fuck out of me. Like, bro, you say man wild shit, like just stay in your lane, yo. Like, so Twitter and in these type of social media space, like Twitter, it's like in like a really weird space because it's like it influences too much people. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like it's a public space in a sense. And it's like now this motherfucker's getting involved. I don't know. He's been saying changes. He's been talking about making changes to make it more free, to make them to make the money, like offering different tiers. I don't know necessarily what he means by more free, or I don't give a fuck about this guy, man. I just wish I'm just a little annoyed by it because it's like what's his name? Jeff Bezos bought like
oh god, let's not
a company a little while ago. But it's like who's gonna keep these wild guys in check when they say stupid shit? It's just super annoying.
Yeah, that's my 2 questions. Number 1, what's the checks and balances for billionaires?
Leonardo,
since they don't pay taxes. Like, that's number 1, and number 2 is what DK said. The fact that like Twitter, and I can speak as the media guy here, the fact that to tweet you can break news on Twitter. Like you don't even need a news station. You don't need a news outlet. Like again, back to sports. Like an athlete can come out and say, I'm done with this team, tweet. And that's news. He doesn't even need to go to ESPN or Fox or CBS. Like you can announce shit, breaking news via Twitter. Like Twitter is like it's its own entity now as a news source. And now you got a billionaire coming in who owns that now. Like, what does that mean?
Like, real quick before you go on to like real facts, because like I feel I get a little know with Elon Musk. I don't really look into his things that much, but I do feel a certain type of way about like social media and how they kind of like they've pretty much centralized like essentially how the internet is used, and there's like a lot of problems from that. And I don't know really what this means if like Elon Musk buys this and really what kind of influence he can actually have as like one person. But I just want all these social media platforms to like burn because they annoy the shit out of me.
So basically, what I was, you were correct before. There were other.
Fast
you said what?
I said, look at Fast Face. I can't.
Oh, there were other investors in Twitter as well. He didn't just put up collateral. He put up some of his own money from sales. He drummed up other money from guys like Larry Ellison, reportedly, things like that. What do I think about it? I don't know. I don't know how much is going to change with the platform. I guess the public narrative is that he's going to make some sort of change and make it more open platform, but Twitter makes most of his money through advertising, and if he wants to keep up the revenue via advertising, making it the platform that I would assume that he wants to make it wouldn't be the best business decision. So I don't see there being much of a difference on that end. I think this does kind of have like perverse incentives in the fact that, let's say, he might, there might not be outright censorship, but let's say Tesla has something coming out, or let's say something from, a rival, company is trending. Would it be deprioritized by some algorithm? Who knows? I don't know how big of it's a story, but I don't know how much it'll change. It's just one of those things that we're going to have to wait and see. I think there are a lot of kind of other sort of surrounding things that will probably need its own episode to talk about, in the sense that, like on one thing that people are complaining about is how billionaires can basically just borrow money against their assets, particularly their unrealized stock, and essentially use that as money without having to sell things. That there's like a whole conversation regarding that, but I don't know. I just think it's one of those things that makes the news real. It seems like the ego project. I don't actually know, but it seems I don't know how one person could essentially run 5 companies. So who knows how much of a figurehead he is, how much he delegates, like what control he actually exerts, who actually knows. So I don't know, it's just something interesting to talk about.
Elon Musk is starting to give me Kanye vibes, where he's just wilding out. He just says wild just to get fucking attention, man. Like that's the whole thing. He has this great image of like he's built this fucking unrealistic character. He's pretty much built Tony Stark in real life. And Tony Stark is not possible. No one's that.
Yeah,
Tony Stark
genius, and like he's so entertaining to like. He's like the up and coming. Well, he's like the nerd's hero's tale, bro. This guy was balding, couldn't get fucking laid, got money, got hair implants. Now he's fucking Iron Man. He just needs to build the suit.
Two things.
He has a suit.
He's a movie star.
Which billionaire did Leonardo DiCaprio's did he see their wife? And then he was gonna fuck their wife. I don't know which one. It was Elon or it was Jeff. I gotta look into the story.
It might have been. It would make sense that it's Jeff Bezos, considering he got their divorce recently.
It might have been somebody for somebody's wife and shut that shit down. So he's the billionaire checker, Leonardo DiCaprio.
He's the checks and balances.
He's the checks and balances.
So when a billionaire steps out of line,
Leonardo DiCaprio comes and fucks their wife.
And fucks their wife.
So
that's the narrative we're going with.
No matter how much money you have, your wife.
Nah, billionaires cut his checks, please.
And then number 2, now look into it, boy. And then number 2, because like no matter how much money you have, you're not Leonardo DiCaprio. And then number 2, I think something happened to Twitter recently where you pay for extra tier in Twitter, so you can use your NFT within the app. Yeah, I don't know if that's because of the purchase or if that was already planned. But you it's $4.99 or $2.99, and you get extra. You can have your tweets silenced by other people. They can't answer your tweets. Like I won't be able to see Ugo's likes anymore if you wanted me not to have seen it anymore. And then you also you can make people buy your NFT based on showing up on your Twitter.
Well, NFTs are going down like crazy. So hopefully that doesn't become more of a thing. I fucking hate NFTs, yo.
You mean base coin? We're not doing base coin anymore? We're just not doing it?
Bro, we're not gonna steal money from other suckers. Some other poor suckers hoping to make it rich.
The next episode will be available in the metaverse, so that's all that matters.
In the metaverse. What was next?
Next thing, war in Ukraine. Big news. Finland and Sweden are expected to join NATO. That's crazy, bro.
That's good for Ukraine, right?
It doesn't really mean much for Ukraine necessarily, but that's huge. Because it's like that's like the last thing Russia wants, so more people to join NATO. And Finland, they declared independence from them, I believe, in 1917, and their neighbors, and Sweden and Finland have done joint exercises with NATO, but they haven't become formal members. So now they basically have the protection of other nuclear powers officially, which I don't know. That's crazy. I wonder how that's going to turn out. But if that actually goes through, I don't know if that's going to escalate things. Who knows? But that's pretty crazy.
How long ago did that happen, boy?
Like today.
Oh shit.
Or yesterday,
that's
like the news
of the base, everyone.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna send him to Finland.
So it's not confirmed, but it's like it's likely to happen. So that's crazy. Next thing, what else? What other interesting? Kevin Samuels died. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Oh man, you have to remind me, bro.
Like half of people like praising his legacy, and others were like,
"Oh my god, people are so weird." Some people are like
praising death like that, bro.
Yeah, people are like, "Yo, hope he burns in hell," and then other people are like, "Oh my god," it's like.
He said,
"You people in your parasocial relationship."
Let me jump in here with the Kevin Samuels stuff, and I'm glad you mentioned that because that'll tie into the Dave Chappelle getting speared. We're gonna get to that later. We'll get Goldberg speared. We'll get into that.
Yeah, Goldberg got them.
We'll get into that after these messages. A Honda pop-up comes up. But anyway, so it's like. It's funny how how we saw both of those ugly sides yet again. Ed Boy hit the nail on the head. I Black Twitter was on fire with these people coming out of left field saying see, that's what he gets. I'm glad he's dead and this, that, and the third. Just crazy. But on the other side, you got people saying that, he generally helped a lot of people, I felt what was definitely disturbing in my opinion. His mother found out off social media. And people found out that he died before his own mother did, because the Associated Press interviewed her the next day.
Not to interject, but I did find that point interesting because people are like, "Wow, that's crazy." And then people are making assumptions about his relationship with his mother before that. I was like, you have to understand if you're a public. You said what?
Who was going to tell her?
That's what I'm saying. It's like if you're a public figure and someone suspects that you're dead, that's going to hit the internet likely unless a family member is there or someone contacts him directly, or even if they're like they basically have to be there because the internet's going to find out before. Like someone, who knows, maybe someone witnesses the aftermath, maybe one of the workers involved leak something, who knows, but I don't find that surprising. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, just aside from that, and that's a valid point. Again, I try to. I really do have an issue when people like dance on somebody's grave like the day of, or not even the next day, like the day of, and like you just have these people coming out in droves now of just saying how terrible of a person he was, how toxic of a person he was, and he hated black women, and it's everything under the sun, and with his lane specifically, male improvement or high value men or dating advice and this, then a third. I try to come from an informed standpoint, especially with him being a public figure. And I listen to him on a number of platforms, not just his own podcast and show that, my brother put me on to years ago. But when he would go on to other platforms and not just talk about, gender dynamics or men versus women, of just regular issues, race and, poverty and socioeconomic inequality and stuff like that. And the dude was informed. And I get it. Like, he had a niche, and his niche was no filter talking to women and no filter talking to men. But of course, the women was more, those videos went viral quicker just because
that's where the money was.
That's where the money was. I got a couple saved on my Instagram where he called this one woman, she was like a size 16. He called her a running back. He said that she was like Barry Sanders. She could hit the power I like a motherfucker. And he went, hut. Like
that's crazy.
I was in tears, and it still saved.
That's crazy.
Still saved in my stories but that was his act, and that was.
And by the way, Barry Sanders, he probably wouldn't be doing like running out of the power I. He's more like a toss, halfback toss, something like that.
Well, he mentioned Emmitt Smith too. Emmitt Smith would run out.
Okay, that's different. Okay.
But the sound effects, the sound bites, the sound drops, the no filter, that was a part of the shock value, but that was his audience and that was his niche. So he played into that, but that wasn't his only, like, that's what he's known for, and his, that's where his popularity came from, but that's not the full story. And, I feel like that's going to get lost in his legacy. It's unfortunate that he passed away because I appreciated, especially when he came at dudes. Like, I saw a lot of times when he came at delusional guys that are saying, yo, I make $40,000 and I work at freaking KFC and I deserve to have like 10 chicks and I should be able to do whatever I want. I'm like, bro, Kevin Samuels would talk, just like he would check women, he would check dudes. He's like, dude, you're out of shape. You're broke. You got all these baby mamas that you're not supporting. And it's not even a black thing. He would come at, like, race was aside, but he would go even harder at black dudes because he's just like, yo, I'm a black man and you represent, all of us. So, that would get lost in his messaging. But, the shock value, and I get it, that's his lane and that's what we're known for now. That is what he's going to be remembered for, the shock value. And I think that that's unfortunate, but that's the times that we live in.
I looked into his previous videos, and he a lot of his sentiment was like bringing back the black family as a nucleus, but that wasn't getting him the views that he was trying to get. So he had to take that approach of
shock value.
Smack that.
Yeah, he actually explicitly said this too on like I saw an interview, and it's so funny how I discovered him completely random. Like, I was looking up like fragrances and stuff like on YouTube because someone mentioned, he's like, hey, you should buy cologne. I was like, yeah, fuck it. Let me look. Like, I don't know anything about this. And he popped up, and like, that's how I found out that he did other stuff. Now, my opinion, here's my thing, right? When it comes to talking about dead people, I don't think as a principle it's necessarily wrong to speak ill of the dead. Because if you truly think that this person was like a scumbag and they were not a good person, why not? Like the fact that they're dead doesn't change what they did, and probably even more so because they didn't live long enough to maybe rectify whatever. But on the flip side, I get why people are upset about it. My opinion just about him overall, like our worldviews don't align, right? Like the way I view him, he's basically a Christian conservative who's like inflammatory and talks a lot of shit, particularly.
That sounds about right. That's pretty spot on.
He's just an inflammatory conservative Christian, but he just brands it in the way that's super inflammatory. And I understand why Black women in particular would not like him, because on one end, he would say things that would, he would have delusional people call in and just have like these crazy stories or whatever. But like he would do this thing that that he didn't do on other platforms, and that I don't like, is like when someone would have a counterpoint and someone would maybe be saying something that might make sense or might be a point against his rhetoric, he would be like, "Don't talk over me," or like he would just be extra like. And I know that was a part of the show, right? But on the flip side, like you're talking to
part of niche.
It's part of the niche, but you're talking to real people, right? You're talking to real people, and then that affects them. Now, on the other hand, it's like they know for the most part what they're getting into, right? So they should have an idea that they may be dragged on the internet. But I don't know. I'm ambivalent about it. I'm pretty much indifferent. It just sucks to see people die in general. About his message. He's a shock jock. Our worldviews don't align, but I don't particularly feel strongly about him either way, but entertaining nonetheless. Like,
yeah, I really appreciated how he challenged double standards. That tied into the shock value, and that tied into his whole spiel and his whole niche. The fact that a woman can come out and say that, yeah, I want a man, he's got to be athletic and he's got to be in shape and he's got to make six figures and he's got to be good looking, he's got to be tall. And if he's not that, he doesn't deserve me. I'm the prize. But then when he would challenge that and be like, so a guy can't say that you should be in shape and you should lose weight and you should like have these criterias. The second he says that, he's misogynistic. Oh, he hates women or this, that, and the third. He's toxic masculinity. Boom.
Well,
boom,
to be fair, I wouldn't call him toxic because of that, but like, there's definitely some videos, and me and DK.
No, I agree. DK,
when we noticed this, right? Like, we were like, wow, this is entertaining as fuck. But you could tell he has some sort of vitriol towards women. Like, he's like those dudes.
Certain types of women.
He just came across as like a dude that like got shat on when he was young.
Yeah.
And then he had to way overcorrect later in life. Like now that he has like a platform, he's just like, oh yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, that's
he just got that energy, and he
question fit.
Yeah, and he would say things that would definitely give glimpses into his past. Like he would make like a lot of nerd references.
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings. He made like a Yu-Gi-Oh like he would just say.
Hold up, some of those references, bro, were like when we were.
Yeah, and he's older than us.
Bro, you were a grown ass man.
So like
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Last time I played Yu-Gi-Oh, I think I was
your move.
Like the last time I played Yu-Gi-Oh, I think it peaked in like 7th grade or something. Like it was something like that. And Pokemon was like elementary school.
Look at Fab's face. I just can't.
Yeah.
He's like, I still play it.
Yeah.
I never played.
Fab's deck is like,
we were too old to play that bullshit, bro. And
Fab, hold up your deck. Let's see it.
I never fucking played Yu-Gi-Oh.
See, this is what he's doing. He's overcorrecting. He's like, oh, we were too cool. Really? He's just too poor. They couldn't afford cards.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards? No, after the confusing Pokemon game, which I didn't play, The Pokemon card.
No
Pokemon
one
was
played the
confusing.
game though. Nobody played the game. I just don't-
Wait. The Game
I
Boy
just
game.
sold the
The Game
cards.
Boy game, yes. The Game
Oh,
Boy
the
game.
Game Boy game,
No,
yes.
of course.
We're talking about the card game. No one played the card game.
Nobody played the fucking card game, bro.
It was currency.
Only Kevin
It's
Samuels.
transferred to you.
It was currency.
It
It
was
was just
NFTs for kids, bro.
it was-
barter system.
it was
The game
NFTs.
currency.
The original NFTs was Charizard, but it was like you go there to show off,
Yep.
like, hey, here's my
I
shit.
got that. I got the gold Pokemon card.
Exactly, and then
This dude,
maybe once a week some kid would get robbed and get really upset, and there'd be
this dude in
fights.
middle school bought.
Consistently wrong.
This dude
At least
bought-
once a week, some kid would get robbed. There'd be a fight over
I'll never
Pokemon
forget
cards.
middle school. This dude in middle school, because I got the lunch. It was like something trash too. It was like meatloaf or something. I didn't really want it. So this dude, never forget his name. I'll say his name, David Robinson. This dude rolled up. That was his name too, David Robinson. No cap. He rolled up. He's just like, "Yo, man, I'll give you a pincer card for your lunch, man. I know you don't want it." I looked at it. I was like, "Yeah, I don't want this shit. Pincer? I bet." I traded a Yu-Gi-Oh card for a lunch.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I would have gladly taken. I hated school lunch, bro. I hated that shit.
We just lost a fan in Dave Robinson because you brought his name up.
Nah, he's on Facebook. I'll
Yeah,
shout him out.
bro. Like you went to high school, a Hall of Famer. You're like 60, bro.
Dave, what's up, bro? It's middle school.
Speaking of Dave Chappelle beat the shit. Dave Chappelle's people beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, this dude tried to Goldberg spear like Goldberg, like this dude came
That was
out
the
of crowd.
worst double leg takedown ever because you got stuffed. Like your takedown got stopped by like a 40-something-year-old man who was not paying attention.
And smoked cigarettes.
Nah, but Dave Chappelle beefy as fuck, bro. From what I remember.
Oh, he's beefy?
He's beefy?
Say it again. He's what? He's what?
He's
Brolic.
brolic.
He switched to brolic. He switched to
Yeah.
brolic quick.
He's what?
He's OD brolic, bro. He wasn't brolic.
So he's
He's like, yo, you seen the new special? He's looking beefy.
a stud.
He's looking real beefy right now.
He's a stud. He's a beef.
He's a stud. Oh, he's a stud.
Stud muffin.
So
He's a beefcake.
you see his work. He's a
Beefaroni.
stud. Beefcake Chappelle. That's what Fab calls him.
That's funny.
Yeah, but they beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, his arm was like twisted.
Yo, the
He
memes.
like broke his shoulder.
The memes. They put the Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girl memes up so quickly of this dude, like of the aftermath. It's like, yo, why did Powerpuff Girls run down on this dude like that?
And apparently this guy was like a rapper.
Yes,
He was like a rapper, and then he
Did he
mentioned
have a
Dave
knife?
Chappelle or had a song
he had a gun
called Dave
knife.
Chappelle or something.
He had a gun with a knife attached to it. Tansy.
Yeah.
Oh, a gun blade. He had a gun blade from Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Hey, the good one.
Yo, he thought he was fighting somebody from Resident Evil or something.
He thought the shit was an RPG, bro. That's what
Bruh.
he thought. He thought everybody was gonna watch him take turns fighting.
How did he get that in the venue though? Is my question.
I heard the same security that did that show is the security that did Astro World.
Yeah, facts. I heard that too. I thought it was a meme at first, and I looked it up. I was like,
So they had to overcorrect. They had to like damn near kill this man.
yeah, they had.
And it's funny because after he tried to tackle him and then he ran away, you see like two dudes chase him and they just slide. It was like a sketch. It looked like a sketch. Like they were trying to chase this dude. It was.
I mean,
It's
when
crazy.
you got security from Spirit Airlines, that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But they
you
beat
wanna
the
get-
shit out this man, and it's like,
They really ran down on him.
ooh, I wonder if he's gonna sue.
I mentioned that in chat.
or something.
I put that in the chat. It was like,
Because
yo,
it's like-
he has grounds to sue. He has
Like maybe like did they subdue him like within the limits, or did they go beyond the scope of their job and like beat
Oh,
the
yeah.
fuck out of him? Because
I
his
think they
arm
went
was
beyond.
like this.
Turn his arm inside out, bro.
I was like, who knows, man?
You know
But
whose
it-
fault this really is, though?
Uh-oh.
yes,
Will
yes.
Smith.
And a great segue.
I mean, we kind of called it.
We called it. We
called
called
it.
it.
We-
called
like,
it
this
the
is gonna
day
happen.
after. The day after. Like, bro, people are gonna be emboldened for foolishness. And this was already happening though. That's what I'm saying. But
But you
Comedians-
know what?
comedians were already cats
Get
were
that
already
ass
rushing
beat.
yeah, exactly. Cats were already rushing the stage on comedians anyway, particularly black comedians. But now, yeah, like if it wants to happen,
That's unfortunate, man.
who's the next one? Who's the next one?
That's
Who's
I don't know. Isn't I think Kevin Hart and Chris Rock are coming to the Barclays Center soon.
They are. They are. Hopefully, I mean, tickets are going to be like $9 million.
Oh yeah, it's going to be
Nosebleeds.
Super Bowl prices because it's like so. Yeah, Will Smith definitely up Chris Rock's going price, like for at least the next couple of years because he can charge out the ass now because they're like, oh shit, who's going to try to rush the stage?
He slapped his money up.
Chris
Basically.
Rock did he did get at Will. Like he's beginning to add it into his routine now. It's being like sound bites on YouTube. I think one of them was like he said, "I got slapped by the softest nigga in rap" or something like that.
Yeah, Will Smith won't curse.
Yeah, evidently, but he does curse at the Oscars.
He does.
And
he did get in one little fight.
Man, what? I mean, I just hope he's going to therapy. He's dealing with whatever he needs to deal with because he's not in a good spot. He is
the L's he's taking.
He is not in a good spot. I don't know what's going on in his household, his marriage, or something. But
yeah, I think him and Jade are gonna split.
It wouldn't shock me if it happened. I'm not gonna call it because because they've been together so long, and some couples that are rocky are toxic. I hate that word toxic. To me, it's overused. That have gone through tremendous peaks and valleys. Some of them just stick it out because I mean we've been here this long. Might as well. It's cheaper to keep her. You know what I mean? But it wouldn't surprise me either way.
I mean, in his case, monetarily, it probably is.
Absolutely. I don't know what type of prenuptials they had, if any. So
they're gonna split.
There's so many people that root, especially
black men. I don't see it happening.
I'm not rooting for anything. I'm not. I have no stake in their lives. I actually wish them both the best, like dead ass. But I think they're gonna split.
I can see it happening. Honestly, I can see it happening.
I don't see it happening.
You think it's cheaper to keep her? He's gonna just have that in his mind.
I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening.
Ed boy, what do you think?
His dream girl.
I don't know, bro. Who the fuck knows? Who knows? And not only that, but I won't be following it. I'll wait for one of you to tell me when it happens.
I mean, I'm on Twitter. Twitter just is where shit happens. So
yeah, black Twitter is that's where it's at for me.
Dang, boy, what's next? Because I don't know.
Another major thing, the document that leaked about the Supreme Court possibly overturning Roe v. Wade. I didn't read the whole thing. It was a long document, but I read through it a little bit, and so basically they're making, as I understand it, I'm not like a lawyer, scholar, or whatever the fuck, right? But as I understand it, they're basically saying that bodily autonomy, I think, isn't necessarily promised in the Constitution. Like, it's all this other legal stuff to basically overturn it. Essentially, and what that would do, to my understanding, would essentially give the states basically complete autonomy to make their own abortion laws. So, like, for example, in New York, it's not something that we would have to worry about, but basically, many of the states in the Midwest, the South, would definitely have to worry about draconian abortion laws as far as banning it completely, even going to the point of prosecuting women who get an abortion or even leave the state to get an abortion. Like, it's a whole can of worms. There's a lot of unknowns. The Supreme Court, when they actually deal with this, may not actually have this opinion, but the likelihood is, given the fact that it's still a conservative court, it's a good chance that Roe v. Wade will be overturned, and that's huge. That has huge implications on, I'm pretty sure, on the legal side. Not only that, but on the material lives of people, particularly women. It's a big deal, and a lot of people are concerned. There's an abortion bill that just failed in the U.S. Senate. It's a lot, and I think probably more so than anything else that we're doing. Well, I won't say that, but it's one of the the biggest things that Americans will have to wrestle with, and the repercussions will be insane for a lot of people. So that's another big thing that's going on.
Well, I just it's weird because again, and growing up in a Christian household and being a Christian myself, it's like I remember as a kid having one view of abortion, like, oh, it's murder, it's murder, it's murder. That's what we were taught, right, in Sunday school. It's like it's murder, it's wrong, it's wrong. But especially when I got to prep school and then when I got to college and I got a little bit more educated in terms of no, there are situations where women, if the child comes to term, there's the high risk pregnancies that can kill the mother, or almost sometimes even highest of high risk. Like, yo, if you have this kid, there is a 80 to 90% chance you will die. Just let you know. So what do you want to do? So in that sense, like, is it murder or is it saving a life?
Well, here's the thing: murder is a loaded term, right? Because killing, like, ending a life, isn't necessarily murder. You could kill somebody without it being murder. You could terminate a life without being murder. Murder implies that it's basically, I mean, murder is illegal, basically. And it also implies in, like, our common speech that it's like a nefarious, like I murdered somebody, so I had ill intent.
Or premeditation,
or premeditation,
right,
or
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm unjustified. So I even thinking about it as murder is pretty loaded.
Yeah. No, I agree. And no, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go.
No, what I was saying is I got out of that mindset. Not to say that I'm anti-church, because I'm not. I'm still a Christian, but when I got a little bit more informed and I talked to women, and I I don't want to say do my own research, because that's been freaking bastardized with all the COVID stuff. But when I read up a little bit more and asked more questions and educated myself more on really what is in that world, I wasn't ignorant anymore to come out and just say something so blanketed like, yeah, abortion is murder. It's wrong. Yeah. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. So, seeing all this play out, you got to just connect the dots. I mean, there's a reason why the Republicans fast-tracked Amy Ruth. I mean, whatever her name is. What's the chick that
Amy Coney Barrett?
Why they freaking fast-tracked her to begin with, to make sure they can have that majority. There's a reason. Like, it's not even conspiracy at this point. It's so obvious. Like, they've had this in mind to do this for quite some time, and it's not
about 15 years.
Exactly. So it's not, if you want to talk about long-term planning or long-term character development or plot development in an evil plot or something, like, there you go. There you have it. So it's just like watching it play out. I think it's unfortunate. I completely agree with you. And to me, what else has been long-term plotting that they have try to get to in the process, if they do get this to pass and do get this overturned or whatnot? Like, is critical race next, or what else? Whatever. It's like, what's the next domino to fall or whatever?
Yeah.
As long as they've got this majority in the U.S. Supreme Court, so it's a major story. It's unfortunate, and I mean, we'll see how it plays out, as always here on
It's gonna be crazy. Like, I don't know, just my opinion in general. Like, I don't take the abortion debate lightly, but at the end of the day, it's like, I don't, without going too much into depth, because I can have just drone on forever about this, but I think that taking a woman's right away from bodily autonomy, regardless of what other moral considerations that you're dealing with, I think that's the chief moral consideration that one needs to look into. And I know that's like a particular opinion of mine. I think it's insane.
I agree with you, boy.
I think it's insane that you can say, "Oh,
Facts.
well,
I agree
you have this thing in your body, and you have to carry it to term,
right?
No matter what, because reasons." Like, because we said so. That sounds crazy to me.
It's stupid, and honestly, I get so angry at the fact that this is even still fucking like an issue.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, bro, if somebody doesn't want to have this kid, no one's gonna want to take care of this shit. Like, there's so many other problems that come out of this shit. Like, there's increases of crime. There was that like brief period where actually I'm not even gonna bring that up because whatever. But no, it's just like
there's a brief period when I was aborted.
Like, there was that period where there was like a lot of what do you call a lot of foster kids just kind of like running the streets and shit like that. And there was like a crazy increase in crime. And then at a certain point, the crime just started decreasing. And they were trying to figure out why. So it's in one of the Freakonomics.
Batman.
They said that it had to do, that they think it had to do with the fact that at that age, those people that were committing those crimes got too old, right? They became adults, and then they're not committing as much crimes as before. But no, like abortions have a huge effect, like on crime and stuff like that. Like it's just so silly, man. Like just leave. Yo, why is this even still an issue? This shit really pisses me off that this is really something we still debate, because it's like, bro, who's gonna take care of the kid? Who's gonna take care of the kid?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's like, who's going to take care of the kid? Oh, the state. But the same people who typically are, I won't say pro-life, because if they were pro-life, they would definitely encourage, sex education in school. They would definitely encourage easy, if not free access to contraceptives. Like, hey, if you don't want abortions, there's so many things that you could do to decrease abortions, make sex ed available, make contraceptives available. Like if you're really about it, but it's like you're pro. But I think people are trying to legislate, how other people live their lives. And it's my opinion. It's like, if you don't like abortions, that's perfectly fine. Don't get one. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't like Arby's particularly. I don't go. Like,
wow. So we equated Arby's with abortion.
Like, basically.
Only here at the base.
Basically, it's the same shit. No, I'm kidding. No.
Abortion.
Dun. The abortions.
Yeah, no, it's like
cut that out.
I don't know. It's like I'm sure we could have like a philosophical discussion about abortion. I'm pretty sure there's someone who's like pro life or pro birth or whatever who could make a good sounding argument in favor of that. But as it stands right now, I'm just utterly unconvinced. I believe bodily autonomy is like, because that's just crazy. That is crazy.
It's silly, bro. It's silly.
Let's bring it home with one more. We got to talk about Young Thug and Gunna.
I was gonna bring it up, but
gonna talk about that.
We have to.
Go ahead, yo.
Yeah,
Fab, you see it up.
That boy and DK don't.
They got indicted on like 50-something charges, right? I know a little bit about it.
Well, Young Thug. We've been a fan of his work for a while.
I've never been a fan of his work, but I do know about the king.
We've been a fan of the Money to the Air and
that shit is funny though. I do like the Money in the Air. That shit is hilarious.
I'm a fan.
There's that one album cover where he was like Raiden in a dress.
Yes, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
That's my joke.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
I was like, yo.
I became a fan.
I was like, yo, he looks like Raiden right now.
I became a fan of that album.
So apparently he's the big boss of the YSL gang or whatever. And the way the RICO indictment.
And this is a state RICO, by the way. It's a Georgia state RICO. It's not a Fed RICO.
No,
right. It's supposed to be the Georgia. So hopefully, not hopefully. I don't know what's gonna happen. RICO started with the mob, from what I watched.
It did start in the mob because they were finding it hard to convict.
Catch him. Yeah,
convict higher ups because they weren't the ones actually like pulling the triggers. They weren't like running the numbers, etc. So they created the RICO law to tie. To create a law of conspiracy to tie everyone in this criminal organization. So you don't actually have to pull the trigger. Yeah. You just have to be a part of the conspiracy.
In New York.
I know somebody personally that's been indicted with the RICO law. I know somebody personally that's been indicted with the RICO law. And
oh, wow.
And they're throwing years, bro. And it's like, what the fuck?
Oh, if you get hit with a RICO, you're done.
Oh, yeah.
They basically said that if you get hit with the RICO, the feds...
Oh!
They're not trying to catch you.
Time out. If you get hit with a Fed case, period, you'll have something like a 98% conviction rate because the Fed
they only catch you when it's over.
They're not like local authorities or state authorities. When you committed a crime, they'll throw a warrant. They'll they'll come after you. The feds will spend years,
just piling up.
years building a case.
We did a whole episode on this.
Like
on why,
years building up a case. They won't even talk to you until you're dead to rights. They'll let you do whatever the fuck you're doing. Like it's crazy.
It's why shows like Ozark, how we mentioned before, are impossible. If the feds want to catch you, they're not going to almost catch you. Like,
because that's gonna look so bad. If they bring a Fed case or RICO case against you and they lose, they look stupid.
Yeah.
So Young Thug and Gunna, because they're celebrities of the crew, they've been charged. I think the entire crew, 26 people, got charged with 52 accounts.
Well, yeah, it's an 88-page indictment, and it's about 26 or 27 counts. And quick sidebar, breaking news today. An additional 7 counts have been added to Young Thug because they raided his house after they arrested him, and they found more shit that he should not be in possession of. In the state. From what I read about it, it's like you try to get in front of it. If say us 4 got caught on some RICO shit, right? And I snitch first, I get less time on my case by snitching on y'all niggas and getting y'all caught up while I'm trying to get out. But Fab's telling.
No, I'm not telling.
No. So wait, time out. Someone is telling you already told. There's 20 people.
Right, yeah.
You think all 20-something people are not going to...
Exactly.
Somebody is talking, or somebody already had a wire.
Facts.
Somebody.
Facts.
Right.
There's no way.
Every documentary I've seen, it's like this one guy. There's one guy with the screen off and shit, and he's like, yeah, so
literally. So we did it.
So it happened.
Yeah, bro.
I'm saying so is definitely there. I don't know if I was there or not.
Right. With his voice muffled, like you won't believe what happened.
But I always feel like if someone knows him, they're gonna be like, "Yo, I know who the fuck that is," because they're never. And it's always a silhouette. You can always kind of tell their body shape. Somebody's like, "Yo, I know who that is."
I know who that is.
No, I watched the Five Families documentary on Netflix, and it was about how RICO was birthed in New York.
And the dude snitched. He said,
every dude
he snitched was because they ran on him.
Yeah, every dude that was a freaking contributor in that documentary
was a snitch.
And it said it at the bottom, at the end in captions of why they snitched and how much time they got and so forth and so on. But real quick on Gunna and Thug, I was talking about this recently, actually today, as a matter of fact. And I want to get you guys' opinion on this too. The fact that they're both top tier hip hop artists. They're megastars.
It's like, why?
You know what I'm saying? It's like my
why?
My question to you guys. My question to you guys is, do you think it's a mindset loyalty thing or just plain foolishness? Why do you think that they would risk and jeopardize multi millions and millions of guaranteed dollars? Because keep in mind, I'm in the music business, so I know how much these dudes are getting for just walkthroughs and just to show up at the club. Like just straight cash, like $25,000, $50,000 just to show up at a club and drink free alcohol. Like so that's guaranteed dollars that each of them they are getting, and not just in Atlanta. This is all across the country and even out of the country. And that's just from the walkthroughs. We're not even talking about shows. We're not even talking about royalties from songs. We're not even talking about endorsements. We're not even talking about other legitimate businesses they have, real estate and so forth. But just the guaranteed money associated with their careers and their stardom and just off of their reputation. Why do you think that they're jeopardizing that to live out their raps?
I was a thug from young, Ugo. I'm never going to stop being a thug or a gunner. That's why.
Was he actually a thug though? I don't know if he's ever been convicted on anything. I think he's been arrested for stuff.
They never got convicted.
Thug's been arrested, but he's never been. He doesn't have a major conviction.
I don't know. I think a lot of these dudes are just kind of like burning their candle as hard as they can. They're just like, hey, like F it, like I'm doing this.
They're dying to live.
They definitely associate with like actual street dudes. Whether they're street dudes or not, I don't know. We'll find out like how much they're actually about it. But it's like, they're probably around these people. It probably boosts their credibility, and it's like they're probably not living in reality. So much money is coming in, people in their ear. They have access to so much, so it's like they're buying into their own hype. It's like someone who creates a reality. Like you're a rapper, you're not really a street dude, but you make like street stuff, and then eventually you buy into your own hype. It's like permanent method acting. Like you morph into this persona that you created, right? Because
it's a good analogy. Good analogy.
You
good
know,
analogy.
you more, and that's what I think it is. I think part of it is credibility, like just maintaining their credibility, which they don't have to in that point. No one cares, right? But it's like in their mind, it might not be the same case. So I just think they're living in a different reality, or maybe they got caught up and maybe they're in too deep. Who knows? But it's just like I just feel like their life's going like 100 miles an hour, and by the time the state of Georgia says, "Okay, red light," everything catches up to them. And they're like, "Damn, like I fucked up." And I actually watched a video of who was it? Who was it?
Oh shit! I got charged.
It was Gilly the King and Wallow.
Yes. I shared that on Twitter. I know
they had them.
They had Young Thug on. Young Thug.
Yeah. He was talking to Young Thug and his crew, and he was like, "Yo, God, bro, like this street shit is stupid. You're making so much money, and there are people in the past who are just as successful on paper, but they didn't have the access to money that you had, so they're still in the projects. But you don't have to be that way. Like you have insane amount of money. Don't mess it up messing with street shit when you don't have to. Like it doesn't make sense." And then it's like now that's coming into fruition. Like everything he warned him and his crew about has come to fruition, and it's really obvious to us, like to passive observers. This is like, yeah, duh, like because we would think if we were involved in any kind of shit and then we got some sort of mainstream success, we would just like shoo. Like all the hood boogers buy, like
except Fab.
Like
take it back to the streets.
Like you can't, like if you want to be around me, like you can't mess with any of that stuff. Like we're not, like we're making real money now. Like we don't have to do this. Like we're going to Peter Luyer's every day. Like,
but if you're already ingrained in this hood life, it's not as easy to just get up and just walk away from it.
Yeah, that's a good point by Fab to me, and that's why I think.
There's a lot of people's families like in limbo and still stuck in this hood shit.
I really believe that it's a psychological.
Don't fuck with your family then.
No, how old are they?
First of all, Gunna is 28 and Young Thug is 30. I had to look this up today.
They're too old for that. They're not even like young dudes. They're too old for that.
These indictments, they started the research for these indictments in 2012. 10 years ago.
They've been looking at these niggas
as they would for a Rico King.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So again, you're talking about a decade plus
of information.
They're cooked. They're cooked.
Of information, and on top, seven charges just got added today. So what I'm saying
is, this is my uninformed, having not read any of the charges, opinions that just based on what you just said, they're cooked. Like they're done.
But again, but to the point. Let me get this point up real quick, Pat.
Yeah, go ahead.
To this point, I really believe it's a psychological situation because it's just like, yo, they've been into it, and kind of like the method acting thing. That was a great point, Ed. About like, yo, you're in this and you're doing these raps. You're in the studio because some of these dudes, they're in the studio for like weeks and months, and they're surrounded by these dudes that they grew up with. And it's like, yo, so maybe I didn't catch a body, but my boy caught a body. Let me throw this in this song real quick. And then you find yourself in a situation, where somebody makes a call and puts you in a position now, like, yo, should I do this? And you're like, I mean, yeah, I guess you could. I mean, we get money now, it don't matter. Not knowing that, dummy, that's more evidence.
Yes, like that benign thing that you didn't think about, that thing that you said, oh yeah, you should get that dude, or you should do X, you should do Y. Oh, now you're the head of a criminal organization, dummy.
10 years of evidence. So I'm saying, so that's what I'm saying. Like it goes to that point. That method acting thing is so spot on. It's a freaking psychological mental stranglehold that lifestyle puts in their minds. Mind you, you're out in Paris doing sold out shows. You don't have to like catch a lick. I mean, on the way to Burger King no more. You don't gotta do that no more. But
y'all,
I'm running background checks on all of my friends and family. If you coming around me, I'm making that kind of. You're all getting background checks. It's only $30.
But y'all looking at it from the space from y'all looking at it from the standpoint of assuming that one, they're making tons.
They are though, but they are. They are.
But you have to understand what they're
their circle. But their support system is different.
Right. And then number two.
Oh, fuck that support system.
The crimes I committed 10 years ago, I may not be committing now, but if the feds are creating a rap sheet, I wasn't big 10 years ago. Young Thug Gunna wasn't big 10 years ago. Gunna just got hot, right? Young Thug recently got hot off the Jeffrey shit. And even then, studio money's not that much. Like, it's a lot, but it's not enough to maintain a lifestyle for all 40 of my goons that make sure I'm safe. You know what I'm saying?
But to that point, sorry, but to that point, okay, aside from your extended crew support system, I still think it's irresponsible because I'm thinking about your immediate circle, your children, your parents, people that you're actually related to,
right?
People that actually birthed you and raised you or whatnot. Those are the people that are going to be directly influenced because you're feeding those people directly. You see what I'm saying? Your homies and your people that are with you and your crew or whatnot, that's one thing. But your kids, your baby moms, your parents, you know what I mean? The actual people that actually put you into this world and either didn't give you the tutelage that you needed or whatnot, those are the people that, you know what I mean, if you go away and the bags are disrupted, they're the ones that are going to suffer first before your homies. So that's how
rap people need to learn to cut freeloaders off, man. You don't have to fucking be supporting all these people. But I just want to make sure that, like, Ugo, if you start getting out of hand, what should we do with you?
First and foremost, that's y'all know how I travel, so you have never seen me with 50 goons around me. Although Ed Boy did he saw how many people are in charge of like my shoots and whatnot. But I'm paying those people. That's different.
And it's like if you have that much money, hire actual security. They'll do a better job than your fucking.
Y'all are playing Call of Duty and shit.
Y'all looking at it from the standpoint of middle class.
That's why they got bagged. Because
y'all looking at it from only the lens of middle class America. You're not looking at it from the hood, bro. It's not that simple.
That's fair.
You don't just wake up and say, "All right, everybody that was fucking."
Anybody here middle class?
So okay,
everybody's saying high actual security.
I agree. It's not that easy. It is simple, but it's not easy.
All right, let's
because they could if they wanted to, but it's not like mentally. It's hard to do.
Yeah, right.
It's like, all right, so say I grew up with y'all three, right? The podcast take off. I am golden, but I knew y'all from jump. I'm not gonna shade y'all just based on your history and not fuck with you no more based on what y'all did.
That's fine.
Or even I'll even use this example. It's 2022, 2032. I'm huge, but they bring up the episode from whatever when I said some crazy shit.
Yeah,
I'm screwed. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much money I made, I'm screwed. I'm not getting arrested, but I can't stop what has been recorded in the past from coming up in my future. Nor can I just say, all right, I'm gonna cut everybody else off, all 52 of my gang. Like the Rigo shit works down to the lowest of the gang.
True.
Not just the heads getting hit. Young Thug may be a head nigga, but some shit that got called as a hit way in Atlanta while he's in Paris still ties into the nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm not saying I'm not saying like cut off your support system. What I'm saying is that like you can bring up the people that you're with, right? But it's like if they're fucking up in your presence and they could bring heat and they can bring the whole house down, you gotta let them go.
That's how Nipsey got shot.
You gotta keep people.
That's how Nipsey got shot.
You can't fuck with some people with specific shit. You just
absolutely
can't.
Facts.
You can't. There's like people you can depend on for certain things, and some things you can't. And people you can fuck with certain things, and then other people you just can't fuck with.
But I understand what Fab is saying. It makes sense. It's like
if that were to happen, we would cut you off for a little while. We'll delete all the episodes. And then you'll be on hiatus for like a year or two.
Yeah, he went to Jamaica
when everyone forgets.
He went to Jamaica to go find one of his kids.
Yeah. You have to go find yourself at your motherland, and then you go to Jamaica, and then you come back and do a.
Nah, bro.
But those men are fucked. Those men are fucked.
They are like
and it's like I don't know. I just have a feeling it wasn't just some shit that happened. I have a feeling that this was like continuous bullshit
Facts.
that's been going on
absolutely.
for mad long.
You're
20
not even,
years of
the-
fuck-ups, bro? I was
the
doing
term-
That's crazy.
the-
Yo, if the feds followed me for 10, 20 years,
I'm
yo,
going to
I'd
that.
be going to jail forever, son. Like, I'll look
Nah,
mad.
it-
Shit.
What did you do? Because if they followed me my whole life, I didn't do anything that would land me in the feds.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Bro, they're gonna be like, why is this guy so
Well,
straight?
actually, no.
He must
I
have murdered
actually
somebody.
time out that time that
How you posing?
I did
This
that
guy.
thing. I actually spoke. Spoke about it in the podcast.
Redacted.
But I did that
Redacted.
thing, and
Redacted.
that would land me in federal prison for life.
Redacted.
No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
yeah, no, you get
That
locked.
thing. Remember that
You'll definitely
thing?
get locked. Yeah, you'll get locked for that, bro.
That thing, bro.
You'll definitely get locked.
This is this
Yeah.
this base.
Convo, this convo,
Who
we're all
was
going
there?
together.
DK was there. You
Yeah, oh girl, I love the way she do it. She get low like it's nothing really to it. She pick it up and she spin it back around and she get it from my mama. Damn, I knew it. Ezoku, Ezoku, Ezoku. Nice job, boy. Ibu Kwenu, yeah, that's true. She move her hips so proper. Yeah, and she look like Rihanna.